The captain is ready. I have been waiting all preseason to see vintage Jalen Brunson. And last night, we saw that. Brunson destroyed the Hornets, dropping 31 points on them efficiently. And we also saw the future of the Knicks in Mohamed Diawara. He was unbelievable. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. This episode is presented by FanDuel. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks go 4-1 in the preseason. That's how you close out the preseason, with a win. And the Knicks offense last night, it looked the best we've seen it all preseason long. And it led to the victory. As you can see here, the Knicks win 113-108. And even though at points in the game, the Knicks were up by 10 points, the Charlotte Hornets, they played good defense. They shot the ball well. New York also allowed them to shoot the ball extremely well from three, and that led them to stay in the game and keep things close. But even though they kept things close, it didn't matter because New York got the job done when it mattered the most. For me, when I was watching the game, I was looking for a lot of things because as Coach Mike Brown said before the game, he wanted to treat this preseason finale as a regular season game. That means Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, all the starters that we had, because remember, to start off this game, we don't have Mitchell Robinson, load management. Josh Hart's not there. He's still dealing with illness and back spasms. Karl Anthony Towns has a quad injury, and OG Anunoby has a left ankle injury. So all of these players were out. So it's unfortunate because we couldn't see the Knicks' normal regular season rotation in action last night against the Hornets. But I still wanted to see what this Knicks team could do without those starters, without those players. And what we saw was a Knicks team that was resilient and utilized every player that was available to make an impact. And we saw it to start the game. For me, to start off, what I noticed immediately was the ball movement, how good it was, and how many open shots it generated. Now, oftentimes, even though we generated the open shot, we were not able to knock it down. And even though we weren't really making those shots, I wasn't really that mad because we were generating open threes. And as long as they're open, take them, shoot them, even if they don't go in. It sets the standard perfectly. When you're open, you take the shot, you shoot it. And when you have the ball in your hands, you make quick decisions. You penetrate and then you spray it out, either to a cutter or a shooter, and then you're making another decision. Last night, you saw that in action from the Knicks, but you also saw something else, a very efficient offense. I would say throughout the entire preseason, the Knicks offense, it has been up and down, to say the least. Sometimes it's good, other times, most times, it's really bad, especially shooting. Three-point shooting, or just shooting from the floor in general, has been extremely bad. I'm not sure if it's because the Knicks are trying to learn the offense. It just has not looked together. But last night, the ball movement, it led to open shots. And those open shots, they were going in. Three after three after three. It was Jalen Brunson, then Deuce McBride, then Jordan Clarkson, then Gerson Yabusele, back to Deuce McBride. Landry Shamet got into the action. Mikal Bridges, back to Jalen Brunson. It was all over the place. This is what you want to see, because when those threes are going down, this Knicks team, they are dangerous. Ball movement, open shots, open three-point shooting. Jalen Brunson running the floor and doing whatever he wants to do. Dangerous. And let's talk about the captain and what he did last night, because he was in vintage Jalen Brunson form, regular season form. Jalen Brunson because he knew other starters were out, he needed to step up and become that Jalen Brunson that we all love. And we saw it in action. Full display. Jalen Brunson in the Knicks' final preseason game as they beat the Hornets 113 to 108. 31 points. Game high. Dropped it on their heads. They couldn't do anything. They could not stop him. More about that in a second, though. 5 of 12 from 3. So good. So efficient. 7 rebounds. Yes, Jalen Brunson is getting rebounds, and he's also playmaking too. 6 assists, 1 steal. He is ready, locked in. He can't wait for the season to start. I think we saw last night, and I'm happy we saw it this way. Isolation Jalen Brunson, he's not gone. He's not eliminated. He's still there. However, it's up to Jalen Brunson and obviously head coach Mike Brown to understand when to utilize that type of offense. If the Knicks don't have anything, they're not generating anything, then go ahead, Brunson. Go off. Do what you got to do. But last night, did you guys see it? Because oftentimes, what did we see the captain do? Penetrate and create. Dribble, penetrate, and then spray it out to a cutter, an open shooter. There were a couple of times he was making passes to Trey Jemison. He was making passes while Ariel Hukporti was running the floor. A bounce pass to him, leading to an easy dunk. Jalen Brunson is becoming a problem, and the defense, they don't know what to do. Think about it like this. Jalen Brunson used to be really an isolation scorer. Now, under Mike Brown, he is exploring everything in his bag. He is penetrating and creating. So sometimes he's penetrating, going inside and scoring, getting an and one, getting to the line. And now the defense, they have to watch for that. But now they also have to watch for the spray pass. They also have to watch the corners and who's on those corners. Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride, if they're open, you have to race there. And if you're doing that, Jalen Brunson is making you pay. Somebody's always going to have an open shot or an open lane. And Jalen Brunson last night, he did a very good job identifying when to be aggressive, when to score, and when to be that playmaker. And because of that, he made the Knicks better. Jalen Brunson is already operating on a different level, and he looks this good. Imagine when the entire team is playing together. They are locked in. They're clicking. The chemistry is there, and they're playing Mike Brown-style basketball. Once all of that has happened, I can only imagine how good, how excellent, how dangerous this Knicks team is going to be. But besides Jalen Brunson, who had a monster night, he was also aided by a couple of different Knicks players. And one of those players is a player that, in my opinion, has had the best preseason out of any Knicks player on that floor. Mikal Bridges. He has looked like one of the best two-way players in the NBA during this preseason. He has looked like that Mikal Bridges that we traded for. And you know, ironically, during this preseason, I haven't heard anything about all of those picks that we traded to get him. You want to know why? Because finally, under Mike Brown, he has been unlocked, and he looks exactly like that Mikal Bridges that the Knicks thought they were trading for a couple of seasons ago. Now we have that Mikal Bridges on this team, and let me tell you guys, he looks phenomenal. Shout out to New York Basketball on the app X for giving us this following information. As you can see here, Mikal Bridges last night had 16 points, 7 of 16 from the field, very efficient, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Mikal Bridges did a little bit of everything, and he was everywhere. This new aggressive Mikal Bridges is by far my favorite version of him. He is aggressively getting rebounds, offensive rebounds, and on those offensive rebounds, he is passing it to an open shooter or he is scoring himself, getting an and one, and he's going to the line. He is always making the right play. There was one play last night that I thought was impossible because of how insane it looked. Mikal Bridges misses an open three-point shot, and then the Hornets, they're running on the other end. They're looking like they're going to get a fast break, and then Mikal Bridges, out of nowhere, remember, he just missed that three-point shot. He comes into frame, comes into focus, and blocks the shot. How did he get there? He went from offense to defense in a split second. I have never seen that before. Not from Mikal Bridges. That level of defense, his focus, his level of commitment to the game under Mike Brown. It is out of this planet if he continues to play like that. Mikal Bridges in this weakened Eastern Conference, he might earn an all-star bid. That's how good he looks on both sides of the ball. Aggressive on offense, hitting those mid-ranges, hitting those threes, hitting layups, getting rebounds, aggressive on defense, getting deflections, getting steals, getting blocks. What else do you want Mikal to do? This is the Mikal that the Knicks traded for, and he looks just as good as we all remember him to be. This Mikal Bridges will help the Knicks get a championship. I absolutely believe it. He looks incredible. But we have to talk about the bench. We have to talk about what Deuce McBride did last night. Off the bench, he had 15 points, 4 of 6 from 3. That's basically where he did all of his damage. He also had a couple of assists, 4 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers, and he was a plus 20 in 24 minutes. Plus 20, ladies and gentlemen. He was doing it exactly the way we needed him to do it. With Deuce McBride, it all starts with his defense. And last night, his defense looked very good. Getting into the passing lanes, getting steals, pressuring the ball, causing turnovers. That's exactly what you want Deuce McBride to do. But also, did you see him getting others involved, setting up other players, getting Yabusele an open three, Jordan Clarkson an open three, penetrating and creating by spraying out the ball? Deuce McBride, because he's more aggressive this year, he is using that to his favor to help his team get better, just like JALEN Brunson does when he's on the floor. Deuce McBride off the bench for New York last night was very impactful. And you can see during the regular season, he is going to be one of the regulars off the bench, have a huge impact. And Mike Brown is going to look to him when he comes into the game to give New York instant offense, more playmaking, and getting others involved. He can do a little bit of all of that. And last night, he showed it to everybody. If this Deuce McBride can stay this way, this aggressive, and play like this, he could potentially be up for 6th Man of the Year honors this season because he is playing like that. And I can't wait to see what else Deuce McBride is going to do this season. I do want to mention something, though, because I did mention Deuce McBride's defense. It was good. And Mikal Bridges, his defense was good. But overall, the Knicks team defense, it goes up and down. And that's probably the biggest complaint I have about New York during this postseason. The way they have been defending the three, especially last night against the Hornets. The reason the Hornets were even in this game in the first place was because New York was allowing Colin Sexton and Miles Bridges to get open threes or enough space on their threes to hit open shot after open shot after open shot. And when you do that, you're going to give them confidence. You're going to give the Hornets team in general confidence to go in there and be able to take it to you. Shoot those shots and make those shots. And that's exactly what happened. The Knicks defense, it's too up and down. Sometimes they're not closing out enough. They're not closing out fast enough. And then other times, Mike Brown, he's calling amazing timeouts, getting this team focused. And then after those timeouts, you see them closing out better, playing better defense inside the paint. They're getting more deflections. That's because they're playing the passing lanes more. I understand that the team is still learning how to play under Mike Brown, but the defense, it's very concerning, and it needs to get better ASAP because a struggling defense, no matter how good the offense looks, it is never going to achieve the goals the Knicks want to eventually get to. And that's going to the NBA Finals and winning a championship. You can't do that if your defense is not up to par. Now, I've already mentioned a few players that helped the Knicks get that victory last night in their final preseason game against the Charlotte Hornets. However, I also mentioned at the top of the show that the Knicks were missing a few players either due to load management or injury. So because of that, the Knicks had to pivot and give other players opportunities. And what players did they give that opportunity to? Mohamed Diawara and Trey Jemison III. And let me tell you something. These two players, they are the future for the Knicks. Last night, they looked absolutely incredible, especially Mohamed Diawara. If you told me before last night's game, if I never watched Mohamed Diawara before, if you told me he was a raw rookie, he was just drafted in the second round, and he doesn't have that much basketball experience, I would have never believed you, because last night, he was doing a little bit of everything. He was aggressive, and even though he was missing a lot of shots, he was not scared in the moment to take those shots, even though he was sharing the floor with the captain himself, JALEN Brunson. If he can do it in that environment, he can do it anywhere. I am telling you, I am promising you, Mohamed Diawara, he's a monster. As you can see here, Mohamed Diawara had 7 rebounds, which ties the team high. 3 of those offensive. He was 3 of 7 from the field, 3 assists, 2 steals, and was plus 12 in 21 minutes. Mohamed Diawara was so impressive for me. He is a rookie, ladies and gentlemen, but the way he is running the floor, the way he is taking contact, when he doesn't have a shot, he creates a shot, either by finding somebody else open, by playmaking, or by taking the contact and getting the basket anyways. He is so smart, so crafty, and he is doing things at his size that he should not be able to do, especially shooting the ball and running the floor. 1 minute, he's in the backcourt. You blink, he's already at the other basket trying to get an and one or a layup. His athleticism, the way he plays basketball, the way he's on defense, his defense already is NBA ready. He can lock you down, he can get steals, he can get blocks, and he can pressure you. Because of how big he is, because of how long he is, you don't know what you're going to do against him. He is that good already, and he is going to get the development that he needs in the G League this year. And after this season, I am telling you, come Summer League of next year, we're going to be talking about Mohamed Diawara, the fact that he's ready, and how he's going to compete for a roster spot next training camp. Mark my words. This kid is special, and we saw last night why New York drafted him and why the Knicks clearly want to develop him into one of the Knicks wings of the future. And the fact that the Knicks drafted him and he's going to be homegrown, the contract he's going to be on will favor the Knicks for years to come. But he was not the only impressive young player last night. Trey Jemison III. I cannot believe the Knicks stole this kid, have him as a two-way player on a two-way contract for this team, and the Lakers actually let him walk. New York didn't have to give up one thing to get this kid on this team. Now that he's on a two-way deal with the Knicks and the way he's been playing in preseason, New York is never going to let him go. They're going to develop him, and then when he's ready, New York is going to offer him a standard NBA contract, and he is going to be a future center for this team. And by the looks of it, that's the right move. Blocking shots, getting rebounds, has a hook shot, back to the basket game, and he's still developing. He can still get better. The Knicks, with this signing, absolute home run. And last night, Trey Jemison III showed you exactly why. Knicks two-way big man Trey Jemison in the final preseason game. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 1 out of 2 from the field, plus 20 in 26 minutes, which is a game high. Trey Jemison III, he is just so impressive. He is so strong, can get rebounds, can block shots. He plays the right way. And did you guys see that pass JALEN Brunson gave him when he was running behind him? And then he was able to finish so effortlessly. These are the type of plays we need to see this team run and be able to finish. And the only way you're able to do that is to have the right players on this team. And if you're not able to sign these players, either because you don't have enough room on your team or you don't have the necessary funds because you're close to the cap, then there's only one other way to get this type of talent on your team. Be smart, be aggressive, use your contracts right, and try to identify talent any way you can. And with your draft picks, get those type of talented players. The Knicks did exactly that. Use their two-way contract well with Trey Jemison III. And then drafting this kid, Mohamed Diawara, in the second round when everybody said he was a project, maybe for 3+ years. And now it looks like after 1 year, Mohamed Diawara could develop into the player that the Knicks need off the bench next season. He could be a future piece for New York off the bench at a very low cost because he's homegrown. Let's not forget Trey Jemison III, though. Because of the way the Knicks are looking right now in the future, they may not be able to keep all the players that they want to keep on this team. And having low-cost additions like Trey Jemison III on your roster, that's the best type of players to have. Because let's say the Knicks, they can't afford to keep Mitchell Robinson, and he walks. They trade him to another team, or something else happens, an injury happens, something like that we don't want to talk about. Because, of course, we don't want to see any of these things happen, but we have to acknowledge they're a possibility. And if they happen, the Knicks, they're going to need a backup plan. What better backup plan to have than a low-cost addition like Trey Jemison III? New York now has that type of player. Shout out to channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us this updated information and these latest odds on who's going to win the NBA Finals this season. As you can see, OKC is on top at plus 200. Then you have the Cavs at plus 650, the Nuggets at plus 700, the Knicks at plus 1200, the Clippers at plus 1700, and then the Rockets at plus 1800. The Lakers used to be on this list, but now they're completely off it. And now it looks like headed into the season, these are more or less going to be the odds for the entire year. If the Knicks want to get a little bit higher on this list, the best way to do that is to open up the regular season in the best way possible. There were so many good things to talk about from last night's game. You're talking about the young players, the rookies, JALEN Brunson, Mikal Bridges. We could go all over the place. And obviously, some things still need work, especially the Knicks playing that fast pace, sustaining that fast pace, and keeping it consistent. The defense, keeping that consistently aggressive so they're not getting taken advantage of inside or from the three-point line. I think over the course of this season, the Knicks and their defense is slowly going to get better and better and better. And hopefully, it's exactly where we need to be come the postseason. But last night's game, it was great to watch. So fun, so exciting. The ball movement, the three-point shooting, what this team can do when they're actually getting shots going down. The defense looks good, and they're playing both sides of the ball. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't great, and some things still need to improve. However, I think we all saw the vision. Under Mike Brown, this team is going to be dangerous. This team is going to be one of the best teams in the NBA, and I believe that this team will get to the NBA Finals. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks winning their final preseason game, 113-108? And during last night's game, what things stood out to you? What players were impressing you? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.